All right, everyone. My name is Pascal Borel, and I'm talking to you from the Swiss mountains. It's been a few days since I haven't spoken in English, and please accept my apologies for that. Today, a few words about Zelensky and the prime ministers and presidents which are uh, going to the White House in order to meet with Donald John Trump. All those Europeans, managers or presidents, whatever, are just warmongers. They want war at all cost. They know it's the only way they're going to maintain the obscene power they have stolen from their people. And they have stolen this power through the unlimited access they've given themselves to your money. They want to still use this money to buy weapons and to impose war upon you without the people having any right to say anything. And of course, Donald John Trump, he wants peace because he does what he knows how to do. He has been building skyscrapers, real estate all his life. And he knows this is something that will play in favor of its own people, of his own people, because he wants to create value. He doesn't want just to shift money at the military industrial complex in order to favor just a few. No, he wants peace because, again, Donald John Trump is pragmatic. He wants peace to stop killing people first of all. But he also knows that he will make much more money for his entire country if he puts the Americans back at work, if he signs a deal on rare earth with whether Zelensky or Putin, Vladimir, the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, is the same thing. But he doesn't want war. And when you see Mr. Emmanuel Macron saying, oh, we need to put boots on the ground in order to create a peace defense force, a force that, man, soldiers in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, soldiers are there to kill, not to maintain peace. Weapons are there to kill. A gun is designed to kill people, not to maintain peace. They just want to, basically, they're fooling you so bad, so much. It is unreal. I mean it, my man. Unreal. And Stammer, first, prime minister in England, the guy not only goes and lies to Donald Trump. He lies, pretending that he wants peace and everything. But in fact, he doesn't want peace. The day after, Zelensky, after the miserable failure of the meeting they had in the Oval Office, goes to England. And of course, they hug each other. And the brave prime minister promises and signs a deal which grants Ukraine between 2 and 3 billion a year for the next 20 years or so. I didn't look at it because it just makes me vomit. And, it's such a betrayal when Europe is just about to be alone. The US is going to drop Europe once and for all. May I remind you that the first two World Wars were created piece by piece in Europe. In fact, they shouldn't be named World War I, World War II. No, they should be named European War. And we had people which were benevolent enough to help us out of the shit that we have created, that our governance system and the leaders of the governance system that we use, that some of you still name democracies. And, the US was benevolent enough to help us out of our own shit. But those are not world wars. Of course, they became world wars, but they are European wars. And we are just about to impose the world. I'm so ashamed of being a European at this stage in time. I'm in the Swiss mountains, as you probably have understood, but I'm ashamed of my display, of my sheer responsibility into the obscene scenario that I'm creating in which all around me. It is unreal, unreal. And hopefully we have now Donald J. Trump, David J. James, David James, excuse me, Vance, a fabulous guy, Marco Rubio. We have the most amazing women like Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, sheer American hero, not to name Kash Patel. They are fabulous. They are going to bring this world back in the service of the citizens, of the people, so that we can finally start living again. But I'm so much ashamed of my Swiss country, you know, which contains like hundreds and hundreds of OG, which you still name ONG, NGOs, excuse me. Sorry. NGOs, they are governmental organizations. They are not non-governmental. They are GOs, not NGOs. It is absolutely clear. When you are financed 90% through your government or through any government, are you an NGO or a GO? They are GO. They are used as smoke screens. Of course, the banks, they cannot be used as smoke screens anymore because they are over-regulated, and they've been so bad in the past, we want them to follow the right track. Well, of course. So it is for NGOs which pretend to be humanitarian or bringing, I don't know, peace, education, health, what have you, in the various countries. We all know that for 90% of what they receive from the governments, it's a laundering machine. But you still judge those institutions and government agencies as key institutions. They are not key. They are there to steal from you. Look at what Doge is finding out. Thank you to Elon Musk about, you know, in the sectors of education. Education, no less, probably 50% of the money being invested by US taxpayer money in education is bribe, waste, fraud, abuse, and theft. Institutionalized theft, made legal by the legal framework, the DOJ, and the Constitution. Man, this is totally over the top. All those institutions have to be either audited line by line, knowing exactly where the money has been spent and giving the people back their pride. And all those who do not wish the audit, you should ask yourself the question, why? When I do what, you see, the other day I went on top of that mountain by the ridge in the middle there. I was proud of myself in the evening. You know, I came back home. Oh, I said, I've done the petit combat, l'arrêt du milieu was super. The difficulty was, it wasn't too technical. Conditions were good, blah, blah. I was proud of myself. I didn't hide it. The people who are working in government departments, which are hiding their actions, how they spend your money, is because they are crooks. They are the driver of waste, fraud, abuse, and institutionalized theft. Otherwise, they would be proud of serving the community. When you do something good for your family, your son, your daughter, your wife, your husband, you're proud of yourself. You value yourself through your behavior. All those which are hiding, using impunity, secret of procedures, and are crooks, which are stealing, wasting, abusing, you name it. Otherwise, they would give you the information. It's called third-party oversight principle. The people, the citizens, should have a third-party oversight right. And that is the way Mother Earth needs to be run. Meaning that everything you see happening in the US is fabulous. Yesterday, I meet with two friends from Minnesota. Well, though they work in Chicago. And we had a talk, and I said to them, we are so proud of Donald Trump. We are so proud of the US people. We are so proud of Marco Rubio, of G.D. Vance. They are heroes. And they look at me and I said, yes, they're going to, for the first time in decades and decades, we have people which are committed to do what they have promised their people. And they're not there just to enrich themselves, like Barack Obama, for example, about 1 million when he gets in the White House, 100, 120 when he comes out of it. And if he sees this video, he's going to have a smile, because I'm pretty certain it is so much more. The Clintons are billionaire, when they were hippies smoking spliffs at the age of, 16, 17, 18. I mean, look at the pictures, it's obvious. Anyway. So we are so proud. I was saying to my friend, we're so proud of the US, because it's going to be contagious. The Europeans, they know that the only way the European leaders, I hate to call them leaders, because they're not leaders. They have no project but for themselves and their bank accounts, private bank accounts. They have no vision for your future. They're not proposing anything new. They're not, excuse me, proposing any change, when we all know that the only constant in the universe is change. We have to accept it. But of course, they live in the inertia, mostly for the Democrats, I'm sorry to say, the left wing, which has abused more than anyone else of the current situation, filling their pocket that it should be that in a way, it's totally disallowed. But they've abused you because you're a good person. You think that, serving social values is the good thing to do. And they fooled you. They smoked you up, pretending that you're going to use your taxpayer dollar to do what you feel you as a citizen is right to do versus your community, your family, your people. And they've been abusing it crazy. So I tell you, all those key institutions in inverted comma, they need either to be audited line by line, or they need to disappear to give room to true, transparent institutions serving the people, allowing the people to decide. Today, we are all counting on Trump to impose peace, when all the other warmongers, including France, England, all of Europe, basically, they need war because they trust that this is the only way they're going to be able to maintain power and not end up their lives behind bars. It is absolutely damn completely clear. So what I'm saying to you, all those institutions need to be at your service, in the service of the people, for the people, 100%. And the only way to do it is for the people to demand it. And here in Europe, I'm probably going to organize the first constitutional walks in order to give back their strength to our political leaders, give them a project, an aim, a target in the service of the people. And, the situation has drifted south so bad, just an example to finish up the video. Birth rate is so low in Switzerland, in all of Europe, and quite low in the US, not as bad as in Japan, let's face it. But, it shows a certain, I would say, sense of responsibility of the future parents, because they don't, anyone who brings a child into this world should be engaged in pursuing to his endeavor and success until adulthood. Otherwise, be honest enough and don't bring any child in this world. And today, most parents or future potential parents, they don't want to bring kids into this pile of, into this garbage, into a no future zone. It is mind-boggling. Uh, Actually, even not even talking about birth rate, getting married today is inviting the state and the legal framework to manage your relationship with your wife, with your husband. It is crazy. We've left that happen. And this is also because the system is so unbalanced. You know, it's a very strong motivation for the couples, the married people, to divorce, to split, to finish their lives alone. You know, it's divide and conquer. And today, if the husband and the wife do not work, you're not going to end up your month in the black numbers. You'll be in the red all the time. This is not normal. We need to put our institutions back at work in our service. Waste, fraud, abuse, and institutionalized theft should disappear. And it should be illegal for the state to rob your taxes, the value of your money. And this is why, okay, read my book 2024. It's all in there, but not only describing the nice scenery that you have behind me or anything. No, it is a roadmap that will give you your way out of this vicious circle. Because as much as I love what Trump and Elon Musk and all the others are doing, it's not going to be totally sufficient. You don't build a One World Trade Center on the ruins of the Twin Towers. You need to scrape away all this garbage, everything that is left of it, and I'm so sorry for the victims. And then you can rebuild something new on strong and solid foundations. This is what we need to do. So doing an audit is the first step. Rewriting the Constitution, which should be something dynamic, revised like every other year, as much as the legal framework should be revised every other year. It should be accessible. We need to get rid of all jurisprudence, of all code of procedures and so forth, and put back the legal and the Constitution, you know, at the service of the people. And last thing, may I remind you, a civilization that has a future is a people that has a future. Is a people where we are all equal before the law, before the Constitution, before the value of money, i.e. inflation and central banks are totally unconstitutional. You cannot give a small group of people being in a strategic position to exploit it the power to create money out of the blue, out of thin air. Amen. Well, it's a nice power to have, but it's anti-constitutional. Remember, the 7th President of the United States, Andrew Jackson, in 1936, killed the federal bank, killed the central bank. And he had on his tombstone, as an epitaph, "I killed the bank for the better." I just repeat, a civilization that has a future is one where we are all equal before the law, before the Constitution, before the value of money, and before taxes, fiscality. We need to be equal before taxes. And I explain everything in my book, 2024. You have all the constitutional articles, everything, you know, the drone by lot when it comes to revising the Constitution and the legal framework. We need to give back their power to judges. Medicine should belong to doctors, to physicians, and not to pharmaceutical companies, not to the most corrupt of doctors throughout the world. We need, and so you got it all. We need to sweep up the ruins in which we live today in order to rebuild the world. And everything is written in 2024. You had 1984 describing horror, what we live in today. And then you have 2024 with your solution. That is 40 years later. Think of it and check it out, please, on www.4ovet24.com. You'll love it. On the website, it is for free. You can print, yeah? But before printing, please consider buying the book on Amazon. You'll waste less energy and it's going to be cheaper for you. May I thank you for your kind and benevolent attention. May peace be with you and all people of the planet. Peace out.